Good afternoon, June the 5th, 2015. Time to wrap it up for the day and for the week. The news that hit this morning was a newsday trade, so we want to trade with the news to see if we can take out that low, and you can see that we did. And we're in a situation once again where the first trade of the day, or the trade before the day session opens, are the two most reliable trades that we have. After that, it's just really hard to say. So the first trade of the day would have been a mean green trade. We had called in the room. We're selling the 95 area right up here, so you've got a retest failure. You could have gotten in as low as 2091, and the market did trade down to 83.50 plus. And then right there, you're put in a situation. Fed raised interest rates sooner rather than later, so the first move is out of the way. And what do we have down here in the third pane? We've got 50 lot buying. And where did they start to buy? They bought on the news. They were supporting the market all the way through to here. And what they do is they stop a rout. They stop the bottom falling out of the market. And the Fed doesn't mind the market selling, although that's getting hard to believe. They just don't want the bottom to fall out of it, where there are just no bids roundabout. So they're going to provide the bid. They're going to buffer the selling. The market rallies back up. Retest to the 95-96 area. It gives you a little trade right in here on a retest failure that goes nowhere. B kicks in, and we were talking. We talked through this trade, and I believe we exited on that bar right there. Market makes new highs. Our second sell zone was basically 2100 plus or minus 1. We make it to 975, 950. And of course, coming back into this area, you've got a retest failure, but you've got this V top, and that produces a pretty nice trade for us. Then we go into chop. Gradually lower highs, and the market comes back down, and we get a beautiful retest failure here off the lows, and the market scoots back up. And we've been calling since 11, the 11 o'clock update, to close in the 93 area, and it looks like we're going to get it. So we're able, off of structure, to come in and zero in on the most likely place for the market to find support and resistance, and the most likely place for it to, in this case, close. Now we try to guess the close. It doesn't mean that we're right or anything, but we're trying to think ahead. We're trying to look over the horizon. We're trying to think about what we're going to do if such and such occurs, or if it doesn't occur. And you need to get this type of forward thinking going. So it is Friday. Taking a look at the F1 screen. Got a lower high and a lower low, so failure to get through 2100 sets up a nice sell for us. We've got this low volume number in the 83 area. We've got an attractor at 75. If we get through that, then the 59.60 area, and then all the way back down to 40.45. So this says we should be looking for a place to sell at this screen. And I'm going to go ahead and we'll put a, like that. Funny how that works, isn't it? And you got to keep it, you got to have a knowledge of where these high volume numbers are, so we don't want to fade moves that come out of the middle, do we? Oh, looking, there's no news to speak of on Monday, so we'll have the market having to digest what we have right here. So if the market was to close right here in this 93.95 area, we're going to try to sell 99s, 01s, and then 4s to 6s. I think if we get through 2100, the market is going to probably run though. So I think we can be fairly aggressive against 2100, and then wait for our setup at 4 to 6. On the buy side, we'd be buying the 85, 87 area. And if we break that area and take out this low, I think the next trade is 75, 77. So that's it for the E-mini. Okay, moving on to the note. Definitely going to be a sell off of our F1 screen. I mean, they're just got our move out of the middle. Look at this. We had 27.20, had a low today at 24.22. That's 3 points in 5 trading days. That's a lot for this contract. So F1 screen says find a place to sell it, and we're going to have a split right here because we've got a P on the F2 screen. And a P in a down market means short covering. Why would we cover shorts? It's the end of the week. So right now, last rotate up stopped at 5, then was stopped at 8, then stopped at 10, stopped at 11. So ideally, we'd like to sell the 7 to 11 area. And then lean against this 2-letter ledge up here, 15 to 19. On the buy side, not going to get too big a hurry to buy. So 29s to 25s. I think the markets, it's easier for it to trade lower. Then we're going to go 13 to 17. I think we bust the 24 area. We're going to take out that low at 22. Okay, on the 30-year, okay, inside the value area right here, it's actually pretty square. The knob spread narrowed further today, so the market is still under pressure, and the last rotate down stopped at 18. So we'll put a 17 to 13 buy, and then an 01 to 29 buy 2. On the sell side, 31 to 03 gets us in above this high volume number right there. And then we're going to jump it up to 11 to 15. And our number 2 points, which are actually our number 3 points, have been working reasonably well on this contract. But I mean, we can see a 2 to 3 point move during the day, and that would wipe out all support and resistance points. Okay, gold. Looking at the F1 screen, definitely a sell. So where's the break in the market? Is it at 70, 75, 80? And I'm guessing we got a seller 75 to 80, and right now we've got a buyer in right here against this 60 area. Greece, I put an article up there. Greek banks, another 700 million euro run on the banks today. I mean, if you're in Greece and you're not trying to get some money out of the bank so you have some cash, I mean, you got money hidden someplace else that you can get your hands on. That's what it boils down to. And Tsipras gave a very angry speech, really threw a temper tantrum in front of his parliament today. I'm sure it's a speech given out of anger and frustration without being able to cry and whine and complain and get your way. And the European Union has taken the stance that no more good money after bad unless you actually seriously refine your economy. And that means that you are going to raise the age of retirement. You are going to cut into pensions. People have to go back to work, and of course the Greek politicians say, well, there's no jobs for them to have. You're going to have to wash it out. I mean, you're just going to have to bottom the market and be prepared to supply emergency foodstuffs and then pick up the pieces 90 days later. It's a terrible situation, but it's coming. And I mean, you just go around the world and look. You got Ecuador, you got Venezuela, you got Argentina, you got Greece. It doesn't stop, and you don't know when it's going to happen. But you know, Japan is questionable. The United States, if you looked at our off the book financial obligations, would be in the same situation. Now, I can go on for a long time, depending on your stature and your reputation around the world and the assets that you have. And the biggest thing the United States has going for it is that if there were a change in tax and industrial policy, our economy could grow, especially after 6 years of not growing very, very quickly. And so that's another thing that holds the U.S. up that obviously Greece doesn't have. Looking at crude oil, lower high, lower low, looking for a place to sell it. You can see this 59.50 area right here is pretty clean break in the market. So if we get through 59.50, then 60. So 59.50, 60 is a sell zone. On the buy side, our number 2 buy area was 56.75, 57 even, and that worked out pretty well. So F1 says find a place to sell it. And look at the way this market ran and a gap in prices. So there was probably a piece of news that was behind this. And this thing is supposed to fill in, not just I may have the wrong setting where it only puts down actual prices. I'll have to go back and check that. But we were dealing with a P. We got to move out of the middle and I period, probably news associated, and here we are at 59, 59 and a quarter. So sell 1 is going to be 59 and a quarter, 59.50. Sell 2 is going to be 75 to 60. On the buy side, we broke it out at 58 and a quarter, so 58, 58 and a quarter, buy 1. And then we're going to make 57.50 plus or minus buy 2. The fundamental news for crude oil is bad. More supply than demand. But that hasn't stopped it from rallying. So you just have to, don't put too much faith and stock in your fundamentals. Trade your setups. Recognize that this market doesn't need fundamentals to trade short term any direction. And last but not least, the euro just got smacked. Did make it to the high volume area. Got a weak close, and it's what's going on in Greece. If Greece collapses, or if they have to do an emergency salvage, and the European Central Bank has given them an emergency fund, that's what's keeping their Greek bank doors open, then Europe has to spend the money sooner rather than later. So, looking at the euro, big day. Our 40 to 50 would be sell 1, and then 90 to 1.12 sell 2. On the buy side, like 75 would be buy 1. Don't really like the long side of this market, but I think rallies are opportunities to sell it. So that's it for June the 5th. It is